Hello everybody, how's it going? It's good to see you again. It's been a little bit of time, but I have to say I have been keeping diligent on chasing my dream of becoming someone who wins either some type of writing contest or somebody who gets published by a major publication. And this last couple of weeks have been super busy for me. I've been writing a ton of content, mostly though for Unblinded, the place that I work for. If you don't know who Unblinded is, you have to check them out. I'll put a link down below. They are the one place you can go to increase your money, time, and magic. That's like no other place in the world. And the reason why I bring that up is because this last week, some of the stuff I learned from Sean Callaghy, from doing all the work at Unblinded, is about speaking in public and about the superpower of human influence. I used a lot of the tools that Sean teaches in this speaking engagement. And why do I bring that all up? Because it's kind of weird. Like, why do you talk about Michael? I don't know what you're saying. If you know what I'm saying, go check out Unblinded. I'll put a link down below. But if you do know what I'm saying, then you'll understand this. I have never spoke in front of 70 people before the last week. And some of the stuff that I actually used from Unblinded, from the Sean Callaghy formula that he teaches at Unblinded, helped me do an amazing job at this performance. This was in Montclair. I think it was put on by the Montclair Film Society or Montclair Film. The link I will definitely put below. An amazing theater. Probably I would say somewhere between 50 and 70 people were there, and I stood up and I delivered. My first time ever. And I think I did a relatively good job. I'll let you decide. I'll actually will attach the video at the end of this video so that you can see it yourself. And also, I will put a link to the original video down below so you can see all the other amazing contributors who were there that night. Unfortunately, I did not win. I think I showed up really well considering it was my first time. I was super nervous, but actually, I wasn't that nervous, which is weird because normally when I get into a situation where I have to do any type of public speaking, my heart would be fluttering. I'd be kind of sick to my stomach and I'd be super nervous instead of focusing on the things I need to get done. There's some things I learned at Unblinded to control my nervous system when it comes to fear and the fact that rejection is not real. So anyways, I want you, rejection actually can only be real if I reject myself. I'm never gonna do that. So I want you to check out the video. I'm gonna put it right after this here. Check out the links down below and let me know what you think. I appreciate when you guys DM me. That's even better because then we can have that personal conversation. And more importantly, I need something new. And I'm asking you, what could I do? I love you guys all. Take care. Okay, how's it going, everybody? Title of this story is Gifts You Get from the Dying. And I was only 10 years old, so I didn't know what a gift from the dying actually meant. And I was flying from Denver, Colorado, all the way to Schenectady, New York. And for us, Schenectady, New York was an oasis. And for those who have been there, you might, I see some eyebrows raised, for sure. It was an oasis because we were from a broken home. And we had a lot of tragedy in our early lives. My father was an alcoholic. My mom had some psychotic episodes. So normal for me was a castle. And when I walked in that front door to my grandparents' house and that embrace of turkey and Thanksgiving, my grandmother's apple pie, and the smell of the pumpkin pie that was spiced just perfectly hit me. And instantly I felt normal. And I walked into her kitchen and she looked at me over her gold-rimmed glasses and asked for a hug, and I gave her a big hug. And I felt the softness of the cotton of her apron against my cheek. And she asked me a very important question. She said, "Do you want a cookie?" And I said, "Yes, peanut butter." And she gave it to me, and I walked with it down the hallway into my grandfather's den, holding it like an Olympic medal and nibbling it on the way. And I went in to meet my hero. My grandfather was my hero. And he was sleeping. He was kind of back, and that belly was bigger, and he had his Mr. Rogers sweater on, and his mouth was open, and there was some drool present. And I tapped him on the knee, and I said, "Grandpa, do you want to play chess?" And he woke up startled, and he saw my eyes, and they came to life. And he said, "Yes, I do." And so I ran, and I got the chessboard, I set it up, and she said I could be white. I was very excited. And I won, and I lost. And I won the game, but my grandfather's Parkinson had become so bad that the tremors had moved from his hand to his head. And and his cognition was gone. So as fastly as he woke up, he fell back asleep, and I walked out into the living room to greet our other guest. My Aunt Sunny and Uncle Ellis had just arrived from New York City. They were dressed in very fancy feathered furred hats with long coats. My uncle was the third chair in the Metropolitan Opera. He played viola. And we sat down, and dinner was shortly served. Ellis was his name, and my grandfather's name was Theodore. And I remember Ellis with his big furry eyebrow kind of looking at my grandfather as he tried to eat some peas off his plate, and he couldn't quite keep them on the fork until they got to his mouth, and they would end up. And he was angry because my grandfather was his contemporary. And he leaned in and he said, "You know, Teddy, you should have stayed in New York City. You were one of us. You could have been something." And the kind of gas went around the table. I was angry. And then he kept going. I said, "Why did you move to Schenectady? It's a terrible decision. New York Philharmonic, Boston Pops, Radisson Music College, Chattanooga Orchestra, all those things were yours. And he came up here. What a waste." My mom correctly identified Ellis as a fucking asshole. At this, my grandfather pulled himself back from the table, tried to stand up the best he could, and then I guess he tried to run in his head, but it looked more like a toddler kind of stumbling away, running into bookshelves as he went down the hall, followed by my grandmother, followed by my mother, followed by myself and my sister. And they all went into the den. I couldn't quite get there, and all I heard was my grandmother scream, "No, Teddy, don't do it!" And then I heard her say something I never heard her say. She said, "I give up." And she pushed past me as she walked out. And I peered around the corner to see what was wrong. My grandfather had this black case, his violin case, and his hands were shaking, and he was opening it. And it was scary because it was an 1849 French violin that sold for $80,000. So he pulls this violin out, shaking, and he puts it underneath his chin, and he draws the first note, and the tremors went away. And he played Mozart. And I don't want to say the pain and the remorse and the gravity of the situation left the room with the music, but it was slowly dissolved by that sound, and it was beautiful. And then my Uncle Ellis stuck his fat head around the corner, and he said, "You see, Teddy, I knew you were better than me, and now everybody knows it." Thank you.